Hey gang, how's it going? I am just here making sure I'm doing some laser engraving on a Forgotten Coast canine knife. Getting it all set up. It looks like I'm ready to rock and roll. Let me show you what this looks like. Actually, I'll turn a light on because you see it a little bit better with the lighting. All right, let's get this marked up. And I'll show you what it looks like for those that might not have seen how they come out. So hopefully you get some good angles. There we go. That's the lighting. Starts to throw it off a little bit. So but anyhow, so this video is not about that. This video is the title that you saw down below, and it's why you probably shouldn't buy a Jet 1020 drum sander. While this is going, let me take you over here and show you what's been going on. Okay, gang. Many of you know that I bought a Jet 1020. I think it was in 2021 I bought this, just after the grand opening of C.K. Knife & Tool here in Wyoming. I was really happy to use this because I process a lot of wood for stabilizing. I used to stabilize it all myself, but it got to be to where I had so many different varieties and the time it took and everything. I just get the wood. Usually most of it I get from Bell Forest over in Ishpeming, Michigan. They have a very good large selection of woods. I would buy that wood, I would have it processed here at the shop, meaning I would measure it up, cut it, and I would send it down to a stabilizing company down in Arizona. After about 2 months, I would get it back all boxed up again, and then I would start processing it, meaning I would sand and clean it up a little bit. I could cut them in half or in basically in one set or two sets of matching scales. And then you got to sand it so you can give it, and then you can do like a clear coat so people can see what that finished product was like. Very, very labor intensive, and that's why a lot of knife scales cost what they do. When you either look at my website or other companies, and why do we charge so much? It's because we can be anywhere between $30 and $75 for a set of scales for a particular knife. So with all that being said, the best way you can do things is streamline it and make it as efficient as possible so you're not spending as much of your physical time doing things, which meant me getting a drum sander. This thing was perfect for what the application was. I can set the thicknesses as they go. As you see up here on top, I have a vacuum connection point for my rigid shop vac. Run it through and it would work great normally. Well, got it, like I said, back in I think 2021, I think is what it is. I'll link the video up here because then it'll have the time stamp of when I got it and why I was using it. But didn't use it for a little while, and then beginning of this year in January 2023, I started processing some knife scales that I recently got, like I was saying, back from stabilizing. As I run them through this, and mind you, the material I'm running through there, okay, I'm running it at 100, 120 grit, something like that. I'm using factory Jet abrasives, just like this. I'm using this, and I'm using 120 grit. I do have a couple others in here. I think I have, let's see, that's 220, and I have 80. But there's 120 on there right now because that's what I was using. And I found the 120 to work the best for keeping the lines down to a minimum as I want to finish them up with a clear coat. Well, this year in January, I was processing my blocks. Now, none of the pieces were over 8 inches long, and at the most, they were probably 2.5 inches square and 6 to 8 inches long. I try to keep it at 6 inches because there's a very minimal waste, and 2 inches usually means I can get 2 sets of scales for 2 knives, which is nice because it's a matching set. I was running them through this, and the belt stopped all of a sudden. Now, the motor here is what operates the drum that spins the sandpaper. The motor down here is what operates the belt. The belt is basically has a speed control, and it actually controls the speed in which your material will go through underneath the drum sander. Usually a fairly decent speed for what I'm doing. I'm not hogging off material. I'm just cleaning up the surface so it's got a nice smooth finish. Same thing with micarta. I can do micarta, take it in here, run it through there. Micarta's 3/8 of an inch. Clean them up really good, make them kind of abraded so they epoxy better. Well, this motor, the belt, stopped working. This was going, it seemed like this was moving at the time. I stopped, I took it all apart, and lo and behold, what ended up happening is the pin, the shaft, broke. This here is the shaft. This right here. These two pieces would usually be together and be one shaft, and this part would be in the motor, and this part would go into a shaft right here that's knurled, that has texture to it, knurling, so it grabs this belt and it makes the belt spin. The other side is free spinning, so it just goes on its own accord. Well, that broke, just broke. I have no other way of saying it, but it just snapped. I have no idea why. Now, I was originally going to do this video, and then I thought, I'm not going to bother. I got so many other videos I'm editing and going through. Forget it. And the reason why I thought that is because I called them in January, late January, early February of this year, 2023, and I talked to the company that's in my manual. And I finally got in touch with somebody, and I'll give Anthony a shout out because Anthony with this company was phenomenal. He was very helpful. Went through everything, explained him what was happening, and I'm like, hey, can I get a new shaft? And he says, no, you can't. And I was like, what? He goes, yeah. He says, because the shaft isn't sold on its own. The shaft comes in a motor. So I says, you got to be kidding me. I said, I got to get a whole motor and just to replace just for the shaft. And he said, yes. So I said, okay. But it was under warranty, so that's a good thing for having a brand new tool, bought off Amazon, and it was great. It was like $1,000 for this thing. So that kind of sucked. So what ended up happening is, I think that's what it was. I don't know. I couldn't even tell you right now. It's been 2 years. So anyhow, so they're going to send me a new motor. I'm like, okay, fine. It's under warranty. You guys will send me the motor. I don't have to pay shipping or anything. He said no. I said, okay. He says, now for the other bad news. I said, what's that? He goes, it's about 4 months out. It's like, you got to be kidding me, 4 months. I was right in the middle of processing this wood and doing things. Oh my gosh, you're killing me. I said, all right, well, it is what it is. So 4 months it was. Well, that was, like I said, late January, early February. Fast forward 4 or 5 months, I did get the product. I did get the motor. Then, as many of you know, if you've been following the channel, a lot of things have happened in my family with health and everything happening with us. So that kind of, this whole thing kind of took a backseat for the last couple months and sort of focusing on all that. Now that I'm back in the shop and we're getting everything kind of sorted out, we're all within our own little mix, I thought, okay, let's get this together. Ben isn't working right now, so I'm like, dude, I'm going to put you to work in my shop, and we're going to go, and you're going to work with me so I can make a ton of knives for Christmas and going into next year, because I have a lot of plans for 2024, and I'm going to need a lot of knives. So, just a hint. With that being said, we're out here kicking out the knives. We're doing pretty good. I'm behind schedule now because I'm behind the curve, because there's 12 knives for me to do blade profiles on because he's been killing it. So suffice it to say, I said, you know what? Prep out these other knives, get some other stuff going like these pups and such, and then put the motor back on this jet and let's get it going. Well, he got it in there, he got the motor to get connected. He's like, Dad, it's not running. So what do you mean it's not running? He says, I turned it on, it's not running. I said, well, you got it wired right? He goes, yeah, all you do is just plug the 2 wires in. And I said, what do you mean? He goes, yeah, there's a computer board and there's just the cable has 2 plugs. It has male and 2 female ends here, black and white. In the controller, it has 2 male ends that you just plug it right in, and that's it. So I came over here, we were looking at it, I'm like, well, you sure you got it wired right? He goes, yeah, matter of fact, I took the computer board out just to make sure, because this is the knob that controls it on and off and the speed and everything. So I'm like, well, that's kind of strange. So we troubleshot it. We were going through it all. I'm like, it just doesn't, something doesn't seem to be working. So we plugged this one back in again, and this one wasn't working either. So I'm thinking to myself, it's got to be the computer board then, but I'm not 100% sure. So I called Jet. Now, this time around, it wasn't as pleasurable. I didn't get in touch with Anthony. I did speak to another gentleman. I don't remember his name now. But it took me a long time, several hours, and 3-4 different phone calls, lots of waiting time, and then finally I got in touch with somebody, and I talked with them. Now, they went through this whole little thing about, I guess they got to read something, you know, like all these different things you got to read to be able to troubleshoot over a phone. We did all that stuff. A little frustrating because I explained everything and it seemed like we're just repeating ourselves. And ultimately what it boils down to is they're going to send me a new one of these. 2 months minimum. October 2023. I'm in the middle of trying to get things, not in the middle, I'm at the beginning of getting things going and trying to get more efficient for Ben and I to get as many knives so we can get things going. I can get a head start on stuff for 2024. And now this happens. So basically the whole year of 2023, I have not had use of this paperweight. Yes, it's a Jet 1020 paperweight. I don't know what these are going for right now. I could look it up on my phone, but I would have to pull it all up and do all that. My phone's over there. But I wanted to share with you what was kind of going on with all this because I wasn't going to do the video, or I was. And then I thought, well, I got the motor, forget about it. I'm just going to throw it away. I deleted all that video content, and now I had all the problems today. So, you know, I'm going to do a quick video just to have you guys do some research and do your due diligence because this is the tool part of CK Knife and Tool. Do I like the drum sander? When it was working well. I really did like it. I had to do some little sorting out because you can control the pitch of the drum and the angle and everything. And so I went through all that process and it seems like I got it all locked in. So it seemed like it was working okay. But I'd have to say the only thing that was my saving grace is I bought it brand new and I had a problem within the first year of ownership. Or year, 2 years, or whatever the warranty is. And because it's a continuing problem, even though now I'm out of warranty, I'm a continuing problem, they replace it. That's the one thing I'd have to say. I don't know the, let me see if I pull the company name up here offhand, JPW Industries. So JPW Industries, and I think they're down in Tennessee. They're the ones I was dealing with. Now, when I do have someone and I am talking with them, they're all very nice and very cordial and helpful. It's not their fault that there's this kind of wait. We are outside of COVID, so there shouldn't be that much of an issue. But again, these are not made in USA. So there's the biggest problem there, Taiwan. So you have that problem there. But yeah, Lavergne, or I don't know what that is. It's in Tennessee right there. There you go. They're in Tennessee. So I am not complaining about JPW Industries or the people. Everybody was helpful. Everyone was polite. Everybody tried to get me through. It's just maybe today was a bad day and I was just running in a whole bunch of different directions. But what this review is on is second guess whether or not you want to buy this. Maybe I got a bad one. Maybe I got the lemon out of the group. I don't know. But if you have any takeaways out of this video, it's one, look at other drum sanders perhaps and their costs, you know, what it might, we weigh those costs. Secondly, buy new, because if you have a problem like this and you're buying something secondhand, I found out that I could not buy this motor. Was not on eBay, it was not on Amazon, and it was not on any other websites, anything related to Jet. I had to go right to JPW Industries, and the only reason why I had their number was it was because in my manual they never popped up on my internet search, and this isn't cheap. So it's just to be said. So do your due diligence and buy with an air of caution. Because right now, by the time this gets going, it's going to be 2024, most likely. They're saying 2 months minimum. That's going to take me into next year. So not very good. But again, it's not their fault. It's just what that is. So I just wanted to share that with you guys because it is the tool of CK Knife and Tool. not just me. So hopefully this will help you somewhat. Otherwise, I can't say anything else about it, good or bad. Just one of those kind of be wary, be warned, and look out and do your studying up on it. So again, guys, thank you very much. I'm going to get back to that Forgotten Coast Canine knife. If you don't know much about them, you can check out ForgottenCoastCanine.org, or just type them in your search engine. I use DuckDuckGo. You'll find out all the information you can. You can also find their knives for sale on my website, cknifeandtool.com, where $50 of every knife sale goes to Forgotten Coast Canine. We raise money for them. They do dogs for veterans with PTSD. So y'all take it easy, have a good one, and we'll see you on the next video. Bye.